Well, we're a weekend, and as you can see, the not shaving has just got to the itchy part. But yeah, thank you so much for all of you who've donated because of our call to action yesterday. It really is truly you guys that help us keep all of these initiatives going on the front line, the initiatives that the Alliance supports. But today what I wanted to talk about is the trade in rhino horn. During coronavirus, there's been a lot of focus on the origin of coronavirus. There's been a lot of talk of the wildlife trade in China, a lot of talk of the live animal trade, the dead animal trade, the animal part trade. And so rhino horn has been something that has led to, the trade in rhino horn has been something that's led to pushing a species to the very brink of extinction, just for its horn. So an animal is shot, its horn is cut off, and somehow that horn finds its way to Beijing, where on the streets, it's more valuable than cocaine. So really, when you look at it, it is the most valuable commodity known to man currently. And unfortunately, the greed surrounding something so valuable has pushed an animal to the brink of extinction. Another thing that makes a rhino horn such a unique product is you can take a horn without having to kill the animal. Unlike a tiger bone, or unlike bear body parts, unlike pangolin scales, all of which need to have the animal killed in order to harvest those body parts. With a rhino horn, you can take the horn off the rhino, not inexpensively, but it is possible without actually having to kill the rhino. The horn regrows, it's just like a fingernail. And so why are we not harvesting horn and legally putting that on the market? If we could get China to possibly cooperate with us, you can DNA fingerprint the rhino horn. You can see which is horn that has been harvested legally, which is horn that's been harvested illegally. And if you could have a tax on rhino horn, and you could have communities owning herds of rhino that they are dehorning in a rotational way so that there's some income for that community all the time, and if that horn could be sold on an open auction in Beijing, cutting out all of the middlemen, we would actually supply a market, and there'd be an investment opportunity for people to invest in rhinos. There'd be a positive financial return on any owners of rhino. At the moment, if you own a rhino, it's simply a liability. If you were to own a rhino and be allowed to profit from the horn, it would now become an asset. And as we know, humans follow the money. It's just one of the sad facts of life. So if rhino become a really good investment, more people will want to have rhino. To be perfectly clear, I really don't think that it will impact on the poaching of rhino. I don't think it will impact on the price of rhino horn. I don't think it will impact on the amount of rhino that are poached or the middlemen in place. I mean, today in America, every single day that goes by, there's a bank that's robbed. I mean, that just shows you one of the most protected institutions in the world. But there's enough people out there that someone is always going to show up to steal when something of value is identified. And so if we were to have a legitimate rhino horn trade that was well policed and well managed, irrespective of what happens on the black market, at least there would be an incentive for more people to own rhinos because they could get a financial return for their investment in that species. If people were getting a financial return, more people would want to own rhinos. Communities could be given herds of rhinos to look after. They could be direct beneficiaries of the money that's generated from the horn from that rhino. The government could get a tax from it, and it could be a true profit center where the ranching, the farming, or the production of rhinos in order to supply horn to a market in Asia would turn the Chinese from the enemies of the rhino to our greatest friends for bringing back the rhino to Africa. So, man, if that's something to think about for the next 24 hours, next time somebody asks you about what you think about the trade in rhino horn, maybe think about some of these things. On a level playing field, if everybody was playing and everybody was playing fair, the trade in an animal product can bring it back even from the brink of extinction.